Welcome back to our channel Mirror Neuron, which means watch and learn. And today I'm going to share with you the daily coding challenge 8. But before that, you must be wondering, why do I have this picture and what this picture is all about, right? Now, also, there is a reason why I have this picture, and it is related to our programming challenge today. All right. Okay, so can you guess what this picture is about? If you know the answer, please share it in the comment section of this video. But many of the Indian friends might already know this and actually have this once a week or twice a week in their lunch or dinner. You must be wondering, wow. All right, but to my friends in other countries, right, probably they must be seeing this picture for the first time, and that would not surprise me because this is a very typical Indian vegetable that grows on a tree, and it is called as Indian drumstick. Okay, now if if you're from India, you already know this detail. You don't have to do research, you don't have to do a Google search. Many of the Indian parents have already passed this information to their kids, saying that we should eat Indian drumsticks regularly because it helps in regulating the blood sugar level, improves digestion, helps in detoxing, boosts the immunity, and it is also heavily rich in vitamin A, C, calcium, iron, and protein. Also, it has 0% cholesterol. Some people also claims that it helps in respiratory disorders. So during this season, we get this in abundance, and many Indian families would have this in their dinner or lunch time. Now, what is the relation of this particular details and with our daily coding challenge 8? So first of all, let me show you the daily coding challenge 8 today. So you have got a very simple list of list, or also called as a nested list. In some other terminology, you will hear the word as nested list, right? Because you have list inside lists. Okay, and you can see there are different number of elements, inside those lists. Now, what is the challenge today? Your challenge is to be able to solve or kind of unpack or kind of flatten out the original list, which is this one, right? Which is this one. So how can you do that? Now, interestingly, I'm also going to share the solution with you today itself, because it's a very simple problem statement, but then it is quite related to the things that I have shared beforehand. And this is the Indian drumstick. Now, Indian drumstick was just chosen randomly, just to make a point that something are quite some details are very it comes from the very root, right? For example, although you can solve this problem logically, of course, if the list is very small, you can definitely write a for loop, right? However, if the list extends and becomes quite big, again we will run into something like time complexity. There is a very interesting course on time complexity, because this is a very common area in interview, typically asked in interview question. Also, you face something called as memory error. So those courses will cover all those things. I will share that in the description section of this video, and I'm 100% recommend that you should definitely complete these courses to learn about time complexity and the memory error. Okay, now you can write a for loop and you can solve this using some simple logic, right? I have no doubt about it. But what happens is, people who have helped become Python language what it is today, they have been using lot of knowledge about computer architecture, and you can say low level programming language knowledge, right? And because of that, programming in Python has become relatively faster compared to other programming languages, and it is also very simple. Now, what sense does it make out of all this is that if you are not from a computer science background, and if you haven't studied much of the documentation of Python, what happens is you will not sometimes know about the crux or the potential or the strength of these programming languages and the frameworks, right? So today's question is mainly to help you and let you know that what you're supposed to also do is not only you try to solve them logically, but you also try to read the documentation at python.org, right? Read about the documentation, read about their inbuilt libraries. You will be surprised that those libraries are very robust and very powerful. Although we all data science folks typically talk about pandas, numpy, right? But no, very little people or very few number of people talk about some libraries called as ETL tools. And surprisingly, many of the advanced libraries use heavily this library called ETL tools. And that's where today I'm going to show you that this particular problem statement, right, which we just saw, that how to solve this nested list and unpack it or flatten it, which would look something like this, right? How can it be solved using just one line of code? And for that I want to, oops, sorry, yeah, my bad. Okay, this is the picture I was using, and let's go to this solution today. And here it is. So you can see, I have the list of list, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and I just use the ET tools. Oops, Google Colab keeps refreshing at times. So until it comes back, let me continue. So you can see that just by using the ET tools library, there is a method called chain dot from iterable. What it returned is the list, right? And you can see that these libraries are quite powerful, and many a times this certain kind of problem statement are asked in in your programming interviews and also in the online assessment portals, and it confuses the heck out of the person who is taking the interview, because they think how are we going to solve it. But trust me, if you're familiar with the documentation of Python, you will get to know how to solve this kind of problems, and it can be solved within just in a given line with one line of code. All right, so that's all I wanted to point out today in the daily coding challenge 8. If you have different ways to solve it, please go ahead and try to solve it. Come back to this solution. If you even find a better way, I'm not saying that this is the best possible way, but as far as I know, this is the best way. But if you can find out a better way, do post it, and please share it with all of us. Otherwise, do use this library for solving other problems and give it some practice, because this is one of the area around 70 to 80% of the interviewers will definitely ask you questions on. Alright, so if you like our channel, please do subscribe and share it with your friends and colleagues. I'll come back again with the daily coding challenge 9 as well as the solution. Till then, keep practicing and let us know what you think about Mirror Neuron channel. Take care.